All right, Valiants, Hero Mentor here. I know you guys are all probably a little bit confused as to why I'm here, not Johnny Rawker. Here's what's happening. Johnny Rawker is live right now. He's going to raid in with his community, and then we're going to make some adjustments and just go with the flow there. That's the thing, about us being neurodivergent is we don't like change, but we find ways to adapt. That's what we do. How you doing today, Hoarder, beside the voice? I can tell you streamed a little long last night, didn't you?
I did, and I have a bit of a cold, so yeah, my voice does not sound the best right now.
You
Hope
sound like a
everyone's having a good
principal.
day.
You sound
I
like a
do kind of
school
sound like a
principal.
principal, yes.
Like I feel like I'm in the principal's office again back in high school where I'm in trouble for something silly. So we both lost sleep.
Yes.
We both were unaware of the hour forward
Well,
this
I knew
time.
about it like a few days ago, but of course, like the night of, I forget. I look at the clock and it's not 2 a.m. as I'm watching Miss Maisel. It's 3 a.m. I'm like, oh my God. But
Isn't it? Isn't it funny how within 1 minute you lose an hour? Because
yes,
like, what time did the time change? Was it 2 a.m.? It sprung forward at 2 a.m. Was it, or was it one? I can't remember which one it was. But like you're sitting there, you're like, I have an hour ago. I can stay up a little bit longer, and all of a sudden, boom! Nope, it's gone.
hello, Rocker Raiders. How are you?
Oh, we've been read right now. I didn't even get a
Yeah, we
notification.
have.
Well, welcome. Okay, so that's. I'm glad I came prepared. Where am I going? Okay, there we go.
Hey, Johnny. Hey, HLR. Hey, Van. Hello.
How's everyone doing? Welcome to the League of Valiants podcast, where today we do have Johnny Rocker. He's just finishing his stream, and then he'll be on here to talk with Horde and have a conversation, in regards to gaming, mental health, music, and I'm assuming Hoarder has a bunch of questions
I
for
have a bunch of questions that
Mr. Rocker.
I will rasp through those questions today.
Like I said, you're the school principal. That's what you're playing as today. But Skills, good morning. How you doing? Thank you for stopping by. Hope everyone's doing well. We're just waiting for.
Skills are those to pay the bills?
All right, so I'm gonna get Johnny Rocker in because he's in the studio waiting. You guys have a great show. I'm gonna leave and bring him in. All right, guys, let's do this. Okay, I'm gonna eliminate my camera so you don't see my ugly mug. And then eliminate that. Eliminate. Oh no. Okay. Okay. Dun, dun, dun.
Can you hear us, Johnny?
Yeah, I can hear you. You guys hear me?
Cool.
You good?
Excellent. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
How you
I'm
doing?
excited, man. I'm excited.
Cool, cool.
Let's see, get things up over here so I can see chat.
Let's rock.
Absolutely.
Everybody, we have Johnny Rocker in the house today, League of Valiants. We're going to be interviewing Johnny, learn about some music, learn about some gaming, and it's going to be a great old time. Thank you for joining us, Johnny.
Hey, welcome. Happy to be here, folks. Happy to be here.
Now, I saw you were streaming some of the new WWE game. How are you liking that?
Man, I am absolutely loving it. Loving it, loving it, loving it. I've been a lifelong wrestling fan, right? My family has kind of always been around the business. So it's been one of those things, always kind of come back to it. But I've been telling people in my chat, I put this up on the pantheon of like my 5 greatest wrestling games. So if you haven't checked it out, go pick it up. It's awesome.
That's fantastic because unfortunately, some years the WWE game comes out and it's disappointing. We'll say.
Right, like last year was terrible.
Yes.
Terrible, right?
I do have to make a comment. Your beard is amazing. And last week we had Fez's Nerdy Life on.
Right.
And I'm wondering, because that beard is like absolutely insanely next level. Do you have a statue of Fezzy in your house somewhere that you worship to make your
I
beard
probably
better?
need to, man, to kind of get it. Funny story, right? Because we all know I come from a Marvel background. This started because of Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. right? That was the first game that I was streaming before Avengers came along. And this started as the Marvel protest beard that I said, chat was like, you should just not shave until they give us content. So I was like, well, I got to shave the face, but we'll leave the chin alone. So there you go. So here we are, 2 years out, and we still don't have any content. So this is what we're left with. So
The Fantastic Four expansion, how was it? I never had a chance to actually play that.
It was great. It was
Really?
so good. It was kind of bittersweet because the thing about it is it demonstrated that the game was a living game, meaning they could append onto the story. So we thought we were off to the races then, like, oh man, they can add anything now and it's great. And then they just went super nuclear silent, right? So
my hope is for an Ultimate Alliance 4. That's my hope.
Me too.
Because apparently it sold a few million copies, and for a Switch title that's exclusive, that's good.
Yeah, that's massive, 100%. Yeah.
So I have to ask, is Johnny Rawker too loud, or are we too old?
I'm probably too loud. I mean, it's half heavy metal guy, half hillbilly, right? It's those two things come together, and it's maximum volume all the time, right?
Rockabilly or Metal Billy, would you say?
Metal Billy, really. I that's just the world I grew up in. I mean, I had a mom that, let me hear Black Sabbath when I was 5, awesome. And it went from Black Sabbath and Deep Purple to the first time I heard Metallica. Life was changed, right? Got to see Metallica for the first time in 80. I'm an old guy. I got to remember that. I saw Metallica for the first time when I was 8. Right. Had a stepbrother took me to a Metallica concert, changed my life. The next night, mom, I have to have a guitar. It's got to be white. It's got to be shaped like this. Got to have the guitar, and that was it. Right.
Well, thank God you didn't get into Prince immediately, because how expensive would it have been to have that kind of guitar?
Yeah, really, right? Yeah, I had to start pawn shop level, and so there you go.
That's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
For me, like, my first concert was, believe it or not, Arrested Development.
That's cool. Hell yeah, man.
Speech was actually from Wisconsin, so that was pretty neat. Nice. And then, like, one of the next concerts I went to after that was Helmet.
Cool, man. Yeah, Helmet, Page Hamilton. Yeah. Love that guy, man. Page is very cool too.
They came up with an amazing guitar sound. To me, I always said it was like electricity more than guitar. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah, the last hardcore band I was in, we used to cover In the Meantime. Like,
awesome.
Love that song. Love it.
Yes.
Love it. Yep.
What got you interested in making music, Johnny?
Well, I mean, I guess we'll kind of get right into the mental health aspect, man, because it was, like I said, I picked up guitar and I wasn't super, super serious about it, but there was just a time in my life where just things were a little dark, right? And I heard a song by Metallica called Fade to Black. It's on
amazing song, yeah.
And the thing that got me was like, here's this dude that's 15 years older than me that I've never met before in my life, growing up in California, and here I am, like in Ohio, right? And this dude wrote a song that sounds like it's about my life, and like it really spoke to me and showed me like the power of what music can do. Is it can give people hope. And I was all in, right?
Awesome. Yep. So like with Metallica, I have to ask, as a Metallica fan, I have to ask, what was your feeling initially of when the Black Album came out? I know some hardcore Metallica fans were happy with it and some were very disappointed.
Oh, I dug it. I mean, like I'll fight anybody over the Black Album to this day, right? And Metallica's explained it to death, right? Like, there was a progression all the way up to Injustice for All, where the songs were, 4 days and 3 months long, right? And just all the riffing that they could do. And it was, they had just done everything they can, right? And they needed to get to the point. And, the songs on the Black Album are heavy, right? It's just in a, 4-minute in and out format, right? And there's a reason why the Black Album is the biggest selling album of all time. It outsold Thriller, right? Come on. Right?
Yeah, the songwriting's excellent on there. It's a great record. It's got awesome pop elements mixed in with metal. It was this great turning point, I feel, for the band.
Yeah, that Bob Rock production was just perfect, right? Absolutely.
Let's see. For like Metallica, I've seen them like what 3 or 4 times. I love them. I will say this though, one issue I had with albums from them, Saint Anger. I
Oh
really
God.
never got into that one, and I think the reason is, and this is not a popular opinion, is that they were really big on Misfits and punk at the time they did Saint Anger. That
Right.
was the whole thing. But they were doing their 5, 6, 7 minute songs. I feel that if they were 2 to 3 minute songs, like Misfit songs, I think it
Right.
would have went over better.
Oh yeah, 100%, man. And that Lars Ulrich, I'm gonna beat on a trash can lid snare drum sound. Just every time I hear it, man, it's like nails on a chalkboard. It was so bad, right?
I know, it was so bizarre, like,
Oh,
you're
it's
hearing
horrible.
the songs and you're like the drums take you out of it, which is weird. That
You
usually
know,
doesn't happen in
like
music.
even the first, like Saint Anger starting, like James doing that cool, clang, 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 and you're like, what the hell was that? Like, oh, it was so bad.
For me, finding some sort of catharsis or help with mental issues through music was for me 9 Inch Nails, because it was this guy who comes out with these lyrics, and I'm like, wow, this guy, just like you said, I identified with Trent Reznor and his lyrics, and the music I thought was amazing, and it kind of altered my mind as to like, because like Depeche Mode and everything was there, and to me, like Pretty Hate Machine was like a heavier Depeche Mode with
Right.
bits of Prince. It was just like wild. It was phenomenal. Yeah, that was really big for me. Nirvana was also huge for me.
100%.
That was a huge thing. Otherwise, when I started out with music at the very beginning, it was like, believe it or not, Weird Al and Bon Jovi.
Oh, there you go, man. Dude, that hair metal has always and will be my unguilty pleasure. I love it. Like the more cheesy and over the top it is, like I mean, like you can throw on like Y&T Summertime Girls, and I would just wreck this apartment. Like I just love it, man. Meatloaf, right? I just love like the bombasticness of like just 80s metal and the whole thing. So all about it. Hell yeah.
Awesome. Now, I have to ask, do you prefer live performance or recording studio time more?
Live performance. Live performance. You have some bands that were always better in the studio, right? And then you just have musician. For me, I've always been the live guy, right? That it's always like I have to be right there with the crowd in my face. And like that's one of the things like I really liked about the older metal and especially the hardcore scene is, I'd be doing shows like at a community center or a VFW hall, and there's no barricade, man, and the stage is like 2 pallets stacked, and the kids right there in your face,
Awesome.
and the sweat and the energy, and it's like nothing will ever match those shows, and you can talk like Code Orange. I don't know if you've ever heard of this band, Code Orange Kids. They're kind of from the same scene, and like they're blowing up and they're huge now. Like they just went out on
Cool.
tour with Lamb and other bands. That's what they're talking about. It's so weird for them to do their show at an arena because, like the thing you might not realize is if you're doing an arena show, you can only see about the first 2 rows and that's it. It's just everything else is lost in the lights, right? And they're so used to having that energy and everybody up close, and it's like, man, we can't see anybody, and you can hear them, but it's a whole different thing, right? So, but just live every time, man.
So
Rock
when
and
they
roll.
say get the lights up, that usually means so they can see more people in the audience then, huh?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's
Okay.
like if you've ever played, like I'm trying to think of that old Nintendo. Is it Shining in the Darkness, or maybe that was Sega? Like the dungeon crawler MMOs, and it's
The
just
Shining in the
darkness.
Darkness was awesome, yeah.
Yeah, and then you kind of
Genesis.
see the bad guy, and then like two more frames later, he's gone. That's exactly what it looks like. Like you can see the first 2 rows clearly, and then after that, they're gone.
That was one of
Right,
my favorite Genesis games. I remember buying
right,
it because at that time I was young and it was a lot of money to spend $75 at a Genesis title,
right. 100%, dude. 100%.
For me, I'm more studio based. I'm more of the singer songwriter than I am musician. I would prefer being the musician more than the singer songwriter.
Right.
But I put out a goth industrial album in 2020.
Very cool.
So I'm like into the really like the noisy aspects more even than the music, to be honest with you.
You'll have to link that to me, man.
I will
I
definitely.
will. I'll
I
like to
go
hear it.
I go under the name My Iron Spine.
All right, I dig it. I like it.
Thank you,
I like it.
thank you. Now we're gonna go a little bit off this pathway to another pathway.
All right.
What this is a question I know you've had, but I feel that every week, every month, every few months, this answer changes. Marvel's Avengers, one of the games that this community basically met on. What
100%.
changes would you make to it?
Man, I'm as you guys know, if anybody follows me, I've been really, really fighting for months.
Sure,
I'm one of the creators that's fortunate to be, in the VIP group or whatnot.
awesome.
And like I've told them from the get, you got to turn the fun switch on. And what I mean by the fun switch is time gating is really, really, really hurting your game. And I feel very, very strongly that power increase needs to be divorced from the raid,
Mm.
right? That you have your two most buggy pieces of content that a lot of people just don't want to engage with. Like me personally, I just don't want to run the raid anymore. And I'm not even 175, but it's just like, I'm so overdoing that. And you have a lot of friends. I mean, especially given like the topics that you guys talk about here. I got my buddy Jacob, who, Jacob is special needs. He is the biggest Marvel fan I've ever met in my entire life, but because of his disability, he's never going to be able to complete a raid. Right? He's never going to be able to do that ultra kind of, combat. But he's got more hours than anybody I know in this game, and he loves it. And it is such a hard thing for him that like now the game's just basically over for him. And he doesn't get to have that stamp of accomplishment of like, look, I was able to get my character to 175.
That
So
sucks.
yeah. So I feel like if you bring power away from that to where folks that are solo players, anybody to where there's a path all the way up, and there's no time gating, no limit. You can play the game as much as you want to, level anywhere. I feel like you would bring that fun factor back and you would bring a ton of people back to Avengers.
I agree with you. That makes complete sense. And one thing that's good with Destiny as a game as a service is that it lets you play the way you want. Yeah, there's a raid. You don't necessarily have to do the raid. You don't necessarily have to do PvP. There's all these different things you can do in Destiny, and the path to power right now for Avengers is incredibly limited and strict.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I came back to Destiny about a month and a half ago, about a month before Witch Queen, and I had been away from it for a year and a half. And it was actually when we did the Paul Tassi interview, was when we were in the green room talking. Paul's like, "Hey, man, I remember you used to play Avengers. You should come back. Like it's fantastic." And so I installed it. We got back into it, and man, I had a blast, dude. Witch Queen, I feel like was the best expansion that Bungie's ever released. Like it
It's
dethroned
amazing.
Taken King for me. So there's definitely some lessons that Crystal could learn from what Bungie's doing now for sure, right?
Yeah, for me, even a science fiction Western vibe of an almost Mega Man vibe for Forsaken, that was awesome. I loved that. But Witch
100%.
Queen, yes, I feel is the best expansion. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, legendary story. Oh, so good.
Yes,
So good.
excellent villain. I'm even tempted to get the damn statue of Savathun.
Absolutely, right? It's Deborah Wilson. I mean, come on. Like,
Oh,
I'm a Mad TV nerd, right? So, like, anybody that was on Mad TV, like, I stand them for life, right? And seeing Deborah have this amazing career in VO is it's fantastic, right?
I'm not saying this to flex, but you mentioned Deborah Wilson, so I have to say this. I was at the Game Awards last year in December, and Deborah Wilson was on stage actually as Amanda Waller, and it was freaking insane. It was like
Yeah, we
awesome.
watched that. That was super cool, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
she was so cool. And then also, too, that was the first real gameplay of Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League.
That's amazing, dude. Hell yeah, you got to be there. Very cool.
So besides Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League, what other games are you looking forward to this year?
Midnight Suns.
Yes.
Midnight Suns. Shout out to 2K. 2K surprised me months ago, chat. Like I'm sure you guys have seen the sets, right? The card sets. I had no idea that was coming. That was my first communication with 2K. It was like all of a sudden there's this package on my doorstep. I was like, what in the hell is this? And but it's so cool. For Axis, we cannot talk about old school gaming, especially to us old folks, and not talk about Sid Meier. right? My
Yes.
very first experiences in gaming were like Sid Meier's Pirates on MS-DOS, right? 5 1/4 floppy, an old Tandy 88, right? And just all the amazing games that he's done over these years. And just Firaxis is just one of these studios I've got so much respect for. And just the fact that they are getting Midnight Suns, also like being a comic book fan of the 90s, that was one of the coolest storylines of that entire decade, right? And to see a team like Firaxis just get their hands on that and they can do whatever they want, like, ooh, fired up.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And it was funny because one of the biggest fears I had, if you've played any of the XCOM games, it's basically that if you had that level of difficulty where you're one-shotting Marvel heroes, it would really be frustrating for people. But one
Right.
of the things they said right away is it's not going to be at that level of difficulty, which makes complete sense.
Right. Which I will probably be the jerk that still plays it in that mode just because I'm a glutton for punishment. And,
Oh man,
right.
I'm 45, so basically the limited time I have left, I have to play things pretty easily.
I heard that, man. I'm 43. I'm not too far behind you.
Oh
Not too
wow.
far. Yep. That's right.
So take us through a typical day in the life of Johnny Rawker.
Oh, God. I mean, especially since COVID, it is a dramatically different life now.
Yes.
It is wake up 7 o'clock in the morning, old man hours, get some breakfast in. And then I got my little cockatiel bird, Miss Penny. I'm sure you guys have seen on stream now and then. And me and Penny get to spend about a solid 30, 45 minutes. And then I'm over here in the chair, right? Like streaming and like just talking about, mental health, man. Like this stream and my community and the friends that I've made, through streaming 100% has kept me sane, because I'm very much a nomad wandering soul. I've spent my entire adult life on the road, millions of miles traveled, and to just be high risk for COVID. Like, I basically have one functioning lung. I was overdosed on respiratory steroids 2.5 years ago, and it made me type 2 diabetic.
Oh wow.
So like
Okay.
that's a double whammy for COVID.
Yeah.
So like literally that first year, I didn't leave this apartment. My wife would go to the store, come in and jump in the decon chamber, as we called it. And that was my life. Like I didn't see the family for Christmas, no birthdays, no holidays. It was me in this apartment. And if it weren't for my friends on Twitch, right, and the Rocker Squad as a whole, like I don't know where I would have been.
Wow.
Right. It just like I was always kind of teetering on the darkness. You know what I mean? Just wanting to be out so bad. But, that's why like now, like even that the possibility of rock and roll and full-time music again is a possibility. I really, really think I want to stay a full-time streamer and music be the background. You know what I mean?
Understand.
So,
Yeah.
100%.
A different situation, but David Bowie had serious heart issues. This is before the cancer and everything, and had to like stop touring for quite a while. And people weren't sure if he would tour again. And then there were rumors and things, and then unfortunately we found out in 2016 when he, that he had cancer. So yeah, I mean, you definitely have to adjust. And
Yeah.
COVID taught us all basically to adjust and to appreciate what we have and everything.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was the same thing with Lemmy, right?
Yeah.
With Lemmy from Motorhead, like I grew up thinking that, if the nuclear holocaust started tomorrow, the two things that would survive would be cockroaches and Lemmy, right? Lemmy was going to inherit the earth. The man woke up with speed every morning and drank, 10 bottles of Jack Daniels and played rock and roll, and you couldn't kill him, and it was the same thing, but he was actually on tour. And I got to see one of the bad shows,
Oh, really? Okay.
They come out and you could just tell Lemmy was not in fighting form. I mean, I'd seen Motorhead so many times, and they played about 15 minutes, and that was that. And I thought, man, this is not good. And then they literally, what was it like that on Christmas Eve? They announced that he had cancer, and he died the next day. And it was just. That was one of the celebrity deaths that like probably hit me the most, right?
Yeah, 2016 was rough. We lost Lemmy, we lost Bowie, we lost freaking Prince. It was like, whoa. Yeah.
100%, man.
Now I have to ask this question because I
Mhm.
think a lot of people want to know, where does he get those wonderful toys?
Retail.
Retail, okay.
Retail, right? Yeah, if you guys didn't know, I basically have a man cave here that's, I've got Transformers, GI Joe, Marvel, and He-Man, right? And it's like I'm a giant 8-year-old, like 80s kid forever, right? And it started, and believe it or not, I didn't have this collection 2 years ago. I had none of it.
Oh, really? Okay.
It just started with streaming, and one day somebody came in and their name was like GI Joe something in their tag, and we started talking about GI Joes, and I just kind of relived this moment of like talking about Christmas of '86, right? And I got Sergeant Slaughter in the Triple T tank, man, and that was like the toy for me, and I got a Havoc. And then I just ended up on eBay, and it's like, damn it, I want another Sergeant Slaughter in a Triple T tank, and the floodgates were open, and it was like, well, I'll get this. Well, now I want a Transformer. Now I want this. And now it's led to, my sweet wife. I mean, you guys are seeing 80% of our apartment right here. And then we've got this wing over here, and this is like all toys,
Yes.
right? In the living room. So, God bless Mrs. Rocker on that one.
Very understanding.
Right. Yeah, because like I was already spotting, you've got the DC figures back there.
And those are actual Gotham Knight figures too, even though the game isn't out yet.
I love it. Oh yeah, man.
It's funny. Did you get that chance to see the Herald of Galactus figure from Marvel Legends?
Yeah, I want it so bad.
I actually broke down and pre-ordered it because I've been waiting for that figure for such a long time. So
my last big major toy purchase is I have the Omega Supreme.
Oh my
it's
God!
like
That's
3.5 feet tall.
Yeah,
that
Wow.
I mean, and that's a hard sell. Like, hey, my beautiful wife, I spent hundreds of dollars on a plastic toy, but that became because of my community. Shout out to Hoshi. That's actually why that happened. Is one of the people in my community was like donated the money and was like,
awesome.
You got to buy the Transformer, and I was like, man, really? So shout out to Hoshi. But
did you see that completely, utterly ridiculous? I think it's 24-inch Galactus that Hasbro Pulse had.
Yep.
That was amazing. I was like, oh my God.
I've got a 20-inch Galactus, but it's the Hero Clicks Galactus.
Oh yeah, that's great.
Right. Yeah, I got that. That was one of my Christmas presents like last year or the year before. So I've got it like down here with all my, Marvel figures. I've got like Thanos choking out Loki and all that good stuff. So
now I'm going to make some enemies for you. I apologize.
All right.
Marvel or DC, which do you prefer?
I prefer Marvel. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, equal opportunity comic enjoyer, right? Like I enjoy some DC books. I enjoy Image books. I enjoy books. Right now, I think the comic I'm the most into is Firefly by Boom Comics. Just Greg Pak is just knocking it out of the park. Like I feel like the series is just continuing for me right now. So.
Oh, that's cool. The Buffy series was really good too. They got some really good writers to do the newest Buffy series. I've enjoyed that. That one's evil though, because the variant covers are based on specific issues, and you're like, oh my God, this is awesome. Yeah, Firefly was great.
Yep. Oh yeah, I'm big time Firefly nerd. That's what we were talking about, like that space Western cowboy look. I mean, that's why like I had the warlock or the hunter in Destiny that wearing the lucky pants and rolling my fate bringer, looking like came straight out of Firefly. Like that was my vibe, right? My brown coat warlock.
And there's very few shows that were done as dirty as that show, because they showed the episodes out of order. And the final episode they showed, I believe, was the pilot, if I recall correctly.
Right.
Like Fox was ridiculous with that show.
I'll tell you the thing that got me on Firefly. It was in the very first episode when Mal kicks the dude in the engine, right? Like that was Han Solo shooting first times 10, right? And it's like, you knew like this guy is a badass. Like, I was sold. I was in.
Yeah, I loved the dialogue. I loved everything about it. The cast was awesome. Marina Baccarin was fantastic. Jewel State.
Right.
I don't recall every actor's name, unfortunately. Nathan Fillion, of course.
Right.
Tudyk. Yeah, Ellen Tudyk.
Yeah. Which, to me, that's the thing that I think it's almost funny that we haven't seen a lot of that talked about, is that when we talk about the Fox buyout, Disney right now owns the rights to Firefly.
That's true.
And you have Nathan, and you have Gina Torres, and you have Monica, all under ABC contract.
Yes.
Like, maybe one day, chat. Hope.
Yeah, that's quite interesting, actually.
Yep, love it.
Let's see. So tell me, what TV show or movie has captivated you recently?
Well, if I'm being completely honest, I've been on this crazy nostalgia trip here lately. Like, I just don't know what it is, whether it's just, kind of been the toys or whatever, but like literally, okay, wait a minute. Star Trek Picard. I mean, I loved season 1, but that season 2 opener absolutely floored me. Like, that was like big screen quality television. Like, that could have been the first half of a movie and I'd have been all in. If you even have a passing interest in Star Trek, you owe it to yourself to check out Star Trek Picard. Fantastic. Super good.
The only reason I haven't seen it is I haven't invested in that streaming service yet. I have so many streaming services that it's like,
Well, see, I'll tell you what I did to get around it, because I didn't want to get Paramount Plus. I just added CBS onto my Amazon Prime for like $3.
Oh, okay.
And you can see it all that way. So
that's cool.
So there you go. But I do hear there's a lot of good stuff on Paramount, though. But I'm cheap, chat. I'm cheap.
I understand completely.
Right.
So one thing we're actually sponsored by Unsinkable, and we have something called an Unsinkable moment.
Right.
And basically, it's kind of like looking at your week. Was there a moment that was like kind of down for you, that you were kind of thinking like this might be problematic, or you're having a rough time, and how did you get through it?
I'll tell you what, before I hit the live button on this first WWE stream this week, I was in kind of a very nervous place with my stream. I had been trying to branch out into variety, and I had given. I mean, you guys know, like when I was in Avengers, like I was doing 100 to 150 viewers, right? We were very much cruising to partner, and then Crystal made those decisions I couldn't get behind, and I stepped away.
Yeah.
And I once you leave the directory you're known for, it's like you're starting all over again.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
I put about a month and a half into Destiny, and it started good, but it had been in a slow decline, right? So here it is. Now I'm about to try this other brand new game, and I was really, really nervous. I was I've always heard streamers tell the story of like you're sitting there looking at your keyboard, and you're paranoid to hit the go live button. And I mean, I'm just kind of sitting there trying to gather my thoughts like, man, what is this going to do? And just, thank the universe, the Lord, Tom Cruise, just all the powers that be, man. The WWE community has been insane for me, and the streams have been through the roof.
Awesome.
Long. So, very, very, very thankful, but that was definitely a moment, right? Definitely a moment.
Let's see. For me, it was oddly enough, it was streaming based too. I didn't know how people would like Babylon's Fall. I didn't know if it would be people being like, "What the hell's wrong with you playing this game?" I like fighting games that I like, and I'll play those, even if not everyone else loves them. And I actually like the combat a lot, and I like the insane story beats because it's like platinum games, but like the reviews have not been great.
Wow. Yeah, so, I'd heard some stuff and some things, but or if you're enjoying it, man, that's all that matters, right?
Yeah, so far people, like, I'm just worried there's going to be nonstop negativity, like, people coming in and ripping on the game. There's been a little of that, but it's been more people asking about it, and me, being able to tell people about like the features that are in it. So,
right. Very nice.
It does weird me out a little, though, that Square Enix has so many games as a service.
I mean, I think everybody, I mean, I know a lot of people want to blame Fortnite. But I mean, this started with GTA Online, right?
Yes. Yes.
The fact that Rockstar, I mean, the thing that blows my mind, whether you want to talk about gaming, you want to talk about music, you want to talk about movies, the most profitable thing in the history of mankind, humanity on this planet, is Grand Theft Auto 5, right? It has made more
Crazy.
money than any movie, album, anything that mankind has created. GTA 5 has trumped it. It went over $1 billion in 24 hours. Call of Duty doesn't do that. You know what I mean? And I think that was just every other game developer on the planet said, we want that, right? And that's what started the ball rolling, you know? And then I feel like Fortnite really, you know, grabbed that free-to-play model. And that's where we have all our Apexes and we have all our other things and, you know, that type of stuff. But, you know, it is what it is. This model is here to stay. And, you know, as much as us old guys don't like it, you know, you ask any 12-year-old on the planet, man, they'll tell you how great Fortnite is. You know what I mean? So
I have actually not found my battle royale yet. I'm hoping that Blood Hunt, which is based on Vampire the Masquerade, will be awesome.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I'm definitely going to try that.
I love the idea that you have vampiric powers based on the vampiric clans and weapons as well, and all of it takes place at night. So that's pretty neat to me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm of that generation. You know, anybody that was a teenager in the 90s, you know, and was even aware of role play. I mean, I can specifically remember playing metal shows at the Asylum in Dayton, Ohio, and say like 94, 95, and seeing the LARP Vampire Kids.
Yes.
Over here doing their live action role play while we're doing a metal show and stuff, you know? And so, I mean, it was like I said, anybody that's 40 years old, man, like all in on it, right?
You see a lot of it at Marilyn Manson concerts too.
100%, man. You got it.
Oh man. Hero Mentor actually had something in there you'd like to see. He likes basically seeing me struggle with Elden Ring. So that's been fun for him, I guess.
Yeah, I played a little. I streamed Elden Ring a little last week. It's my very first Souls game.
Oh wow, that's a hell of a game to start with.
Yeah, and I didn't do too bad. Like my death counter's only at like 8 so far. I mean, thankfully I'm blessed with the reflexes and stuff, but I'm also like I'm level 30 something and I haven't even fought the tree boss yet. Like,
oh wow,
I'm like,
okay.
I'm hanging out around that village and I'm grinding up. Well, I got a character up to like 20 something and then decided I didn't like it. So then I rolled a different character. And then I ended up going back to the original character. And like now that I understand how the stats work and stuff like that, but I'll definitely be coming back to it at some point, but it's fun. I really enjoy it.
Cute little Chaos Kitty in chat said, Horty had too much whiskey. No, just a cold. Just a cold.
There you go. I see Seast asked me to get Elden Ring. He did, man. Seast was the inspiration for that.
Yeah, the level of exploration is amazing in Elden Ring. Mm-hmm. That's why I highly recommend it. Also, It's the most approachable. If you hit a wall, you can turn around and find maybe a less cruel wall to hit, you know?
Right, exactly. Yeah, I like it. I mean, it's, you know, I think what's probably going to happen is once I get to it, I'm probably going to go back. I think I own Bloodborne, and I just haven't played it.
That's an awesome game. That's basically like a Souls game mixed with Castlevania.
Yep. So I think that'll probably be the next one.
Yeah, that one's good. That's actually probably my favorite, especially with the aesthetic of it, because it's like the Gaslight era, steampunk era almost, Victorian.
Love it.
So, what is your most recent or upcoming toy that you're looking forward to add to your collection?
Oh man, I mean, there's one I'm hunting for now, and it has just eluded the shit out of me. And it's a new version of Blaster. Like, remember Blaster from like season 2, season 3 of Transformers?
Oh yeah,
the Autobot boombox.
Yes.
I've got a G1. I've got an original in the package. I would pull it out, but I'm going to knock about 10 Transformers off. But I've got an original in the package.
Oh wow!
And they basically rescaled it so it kind of fits with the scale of these new Transformers. It looks amazing. But just living in Cleveland, Ohio, it's so funny because I go to a toy aisle. there might be one kid in the toy aisle, and then it's 12, grown ass men throwing elbows, trying to grab everything.
Yeah, that
It's just
sucks. I know what you're talking about.
it,
Yeah.
it's a horrible reseller market, right?
Yes.
So it's like you just have to get completely lucky. And I'm one of those people, I refuse to pay eBay prices, right? Like if I can get a toy at retail for $30, I'm not paying $90 for it on eBay. I don't care how bad I want it, because for me, chasing it is half the fun, right? So, but that's probably the one right now. Also too, the new, trying to think of the company that's making them. It's not Hasbro. There's a new, well, it is Hasbro, but it's not the Legends line. There's a new X-Men line that's coming out that are all based on the Jim Lee X-Men line. And they look really, really detailed. I mean, they're not quite like Hot Toys level of detail, but I got to see the Gambit and the Wolverine together, and they looked amazing. So,
Oh, is that the company that has the Wolverine with the photograph that he's looking at? Because that's beautiful.
yes,
The 12-inch
yeah,
figures.
that's it.
Those are awesome.
Yep. Yeah, there's that, a Rogue, and a Gambit that's out right now, but they're going to do
wow.
all of them. So, but they're a little expensive. I think they're like 50 a piece.
150 or 200.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're a lot because they're 12 inches. They have multiple heads, multiple hands. So they're more of almost like a Hot Toys level, except like not like I don't think any of them have like cloth outfits or anything.
Yeah, they look fantastic. Those would be super cool.
Yeah, they're very nice. I was tempted to get Mondo. It's from Mondo, I believe.
Yep. I can share you this. This is probably the coolest recent thing that I've gotten.
Cool.
And I'm really excited about these. We need this to sell well. So, chat, if you think this is cool, please go buy it. So, what this is, right? I don't want to take them out. These are the original O-Ring, Storm Shadow, and Snake Eyes, right?
That's crazy.
And, it's like a commemorative package. Well, I mean, I've got it open here. I'll pull one out so you can see one on the card. But they are exactly as they were in
that's
1982,
phenomenal.
right? O-ring, exact, right? Same accessories, all the same stuff that they came with. And basically, if this does well, O-ring G.I. Joes will full on be back. And I want that more than anything, chat. More than anything. So go to HasLab and buy them right now.
As a kid, I was always into the villains. So like the G.I. Joe villains had the best color palettes. They had the best fashion sense. They looked just amazing. And like, so like I would always have like rivalries between Cobra. So it would be like Zaybot versus Destro, things like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Dreadnoughts for life, man. I was a Dreadnoughts guy.
Oh man, Zartan was one of my favorite toys as a kid. I was kind of bummed because I wanted to get the Hasbro Pulse Zartan. They had one with multiple faces and stuff, but that went right the frick away. I was like, oh my god, because I did not think I had to actually get a membership. I didn't think that would be necessary, but I was wrong.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I don't have that one. I've got the classified Zartan. And
me too. That's beautiful too.
Yep.
Yeah, the classified series for G.I. Joe is gorgeous, everybody. They're actually affordable too. They're between 20 and 25, I think. And they'd have Tomix and Zaymot coming out in a while. Crocmaster is soon though. That's like I think May or June.
Yep. Yeah, I'm seeing people. I saw on Twitter yesterday, like they're popping up randomly at Targets.
Oh my god, okay. So I apologize. So a lot of stuff I orders from like Entertainment Earth, and they do get it right away, but they'll always be like maybe listed a month or two later. I think probably just to be safe. So
yeah, I got my Kingdom Rodimus. I got it. It wasn't supposed to come out till like I want to say it was February of this year, and I got it like right after Thanksgiving. From it was someplace weird. Was it a B. Dalton Books? I think it was at a B. Dalton Books. It was just me and my wife were just in some weird place, and there it was. And I was like, holy shit, like I've been looking for that, like this is not supposed to be out for months. Like I was going to pre-order it from Hot Toys. So just every now and again, man, some stuff slips out. So
speaking of Hot Toys, did you see the new The Batman Batman figure? Because that is gorgeous.
Yeah, it looks cool, man. I haven't seen the flick yet. I mean, being so high COVID, the only new movie that I've gotten to see was I did get to see Spider-Man: No Way Home, and that was because the family chipped in and we rented a theater.
Oh,
Like,
awesome!
They had a thing. It was like $250. You know, and you
Oh,
could
that's a
rent the
good
theater
price.
for 20
Like
people.
right around 500 here in Wisconsin.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I did get to see No Way Home, and it was amazing. So.
Also, I think in April the Blu-ray comes out, and there's a gorgeous steelbook that Best Buy has. It's like an exclusive. It looks really nice. I just saw the artwork finalized yesterday. It looks really good.
That's awesome. Heck yeah, man.
But the Batman, you can look forward to it. I believe it's April 19th. I think it's coming to HBO Max.
HBO, 100%. Yep.
I was really surprised that they were going to go so hard on the 45-day thing. I was like, wow, okay.
Yep. Yeah, I'm all about it, man.
Let's see here. So I'm going to do something kind of interesting that we usually don't do. And obviously I'm going to like choose like the questions. Anyone in chat have any questions for Johnny right now? Excuse me. Sorry.
We're going to raid Pewter. Nice, man. Pewter Odin is one of the people I absolutely love in this community.
Oh, he's awesome. He lives like 15, 20 minutes from me too. I found out, which is pretty wild. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. Pewter is such a good kid, man. And I like how childlike, awesome, excited he gets over everything.
Yes.
You know, so good, man. So good.
Yeah. Someone else awesome that I met through Avengers.
100%, man.
Let's see. I don't see any more questions. Is there anything else that you would like to say, or would you like to plug anything, Johnny?
Like I said, I just wanted to say just thank you to the Marvel community as a whole. You know, it's one of those things that I think a lot of us are kind of dealing with it. Trying to step out of our comfort zones and move into variety and do other things. It really means the world to me that the Marvel community is kind of staying united. That's why I call it the Marvel community and not the Avengers community so much anymore, is because we've stepped out, you know, from the shadow of Avengers.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things, I mean, and especially coming from the rock and roll world and dealing with a lot of the business that you have to deal with in rock and roll and so many non-genuine friendships.
Yeah.
Right. Is so many of the people that I've met because of that game in this community, I consider friends like I've known them for 25 years. You know what I mean? And I just want to say thank you to everybody for not only supporting me, but for sticking together and supporting everybody else. So whether it's Chaos Kitty or it's Pewter or it's, you know, Bob Duckenweave or just, you know, anybody that's trying to step out there and do something different. They're still the same people providing you the same awesome content, you know, and if you can enjoy and play Avengers, you can enjoy and play any other game too, you know, so.
Yeah, one thing I've noticed too with Avengers, which is weird, is it's the only game I can think of where if you have any positivity, anything good to say about the game, any aspect of the game, they scream the word shill at you.
Yeah, 100%, right? What's so funny is I've been a shill and a hater in the same week. Like I don't know how that works. Right? Like literally, you know, got called a hater all week, and then, you know, I go on Doom's podcast, say two positive things, and then I'm a shill. You know what I mean? As poor Sadat can be a shill and a hater at the same time. So, you know, it's one of the Chaos Kitty. I'm a shader. I love it. That's so good. The thing is about it, I guess that's a good thing to end it on, is I have never been against the folks at Crystal Dynamic. I believe that Avengers has one of the most talented teams in the world. Yeah. And all the interactions that I've got to have with those folks behind the scenes, I mean, they are true Marvel fans, and they want this game to succeed more than we want to be able to play it. Right. You know, that doesn't mean I have to agree with every choice that they've made. Right. But it's never me being mad at them. It's just, I see the unlimited potential of this IP and what this game could be with just a few tweaks. Right. So, you know, I'm rooting for the No Man's Sky comeback. right? Like that's what I want to see happen. I just want to see the folks buckle down. I want to see them just tweak the formula a little bit and blow us all away, you know? So, and if any team on the planet's got the potential to do it, it is the folks at Crystal. So, but
Yeah, so what I think happened is if you're a fan of like CW shows, it's like every season they like cut the budget on shows. Like you've noticed that if you watch like Smallville,
right,
Flash, any of that, we're CG, things like that, using more sets that don't, not like real world
right.
places on location. And luckily so far that hasn't happened with Superman and Lois, but that definitely seems to be happening with Marvel's Avengers.
Right. 100%.
And
It's
I
like,
would,
I mean, me being a Star Trek nerd, it's like if you know anything about Star Trek, the original series, is by the time they got to season 3 of the original Star Trek series, they had cut the budget so much for that show that Gunsmoke, that was on at the same time, their catering budget was more than the entire budget for Star Trek the show.
wow.
Right. And that's why you had so many episodes too, where like they're fighting at a castle or it's a city or it's a this. And it was literally because CBS would call and say, hey, we've got this castle set over here for 2 days if you guys want to use that. So they, okay, so we're writing a castle scene that, and like, because they couldn't get sets made, so.
I think I read that Lucille Ball was actually instrumental in getting Star Trek on
100%.
television because she was actually a fan of science fiction, and
Yep.
it was Desilu Productions. So like
Yep.
that's really wild too to think about.
Yeah, it's amazing. But and also, guys, I just want to say thank you for having me. It really means a lot to get to be here. I think what you guys are doing with mental health is amazing.
Thank you.
And putting that forefront. Because, like I said, the world's a crazy place right now.
Yeah.
All over the world, and the fact that you got a community where you can hang out, you can talk, you can put that stuff out there is amazing. But just props to you guys, man, and thank you so much.
Thank you very much for being here, Johnny. And we also have like Gotham Knights to look forward to. That we got that
100%.
news last week. That was awesome to hear.
Yeah,
But
let's
thank
go.
you very much for joining us. It's been awesome. Thank you everybody for watching. We greatly appreciated the League of Valiants, and thank you the Hero Mentor, the production man behind the League of Valiants, and this excellent interview. Thank you, Johnny, and have yourself a good day.
All right, thanks, guys. Have a good
Thank
one.
you. Bye bye.